In Italy, food is a story unto itself, and I'm gonna show you how to bring a little piece of the dolce vita into your everyday with this Italian summer strawberry cake. Beautifully simple, this cake is gonna be one of the most impressive things you serve all summer long. I'm Christina, and you're here on The Main.
Can I come in your kitchen, baby, and cook all night long with you?
So we have a whole bunch of strawberries because strawberries are in season right now, and I have some friends coming over tonight. I'm very excited about it, but they're coming over after dinner. I'm gonna start washing these, by the way. I'm gonna show you how I wash my strawberries. I have some friends coming over, and rather than do a whole dinner and make it a thing, I just said come over for dessert. Why not? A little dessert, a little coffee, a little wine, you know how it is. When you guys get your strawberries from the store, there's gonna be a ton of like grit and stuff on them, and we really wanna get all of that off. So I'm gonna show you how I like to do that. I like to start with a nice big bowl, and I actually put just a drop of Castile soap in it. Castile soap is a vegetable-based soap, and it's fantastic. I also use it for making homemade soap, hand soap and things, but a lot of uses Castile soap. And I'm just gonna actually sprinkle about a tablespoon, no, maybe a teaspoon of baking soda in here, and I'm gonna mix it around, and I'm going to add my strawberries to this bowl. Now I know I washed a lot of strawberries. They are not all for this cake. They are going to be used for something else. That's a surprise. What I'm gonna do is actually start to make the cake right now. Now this is a beautifully tender, soft cake that has a really nice crumb and the slightest hint of lemon. It's really spectacular. Almost all Italian cakes, I feel, have some kind of citrus in them, and lemons, strawberries. This does have ricotta cheese as well. So get excited, I know I am. So we're gonna start with our butter. If you don't already have a kitchen scale, I'm going to say that you should probably get one. A lot of recipes are happening in grams and weight now because everyone's realized it's much more accurate. So this is 140 grams of butter. If you don't have a kitchen scale, it's 10 tablespoons, which can be tricky to measure. And I'm gonna do this in my standing mixer, but it'll also work with an electric hand beater, so you could do that too. Okay, work with what you've got. So all the butter right in there. Nice and soft too. Absolutely, this must be room temperature. Next ingredient is the sugar. Now, I try not to use, whenever I do a recipe, the sugar, you can usually fluctuate it about 1/4 cup up or down without really affecting the recipe too much. If you like a sweeter cake, I would recommend doing a full cup of sugar. I always pull back just a little bit. I'm gonna do more like 3/4 cup of sugar. And this is what that looks like, right into your mixer. Once your butter and sugar is in, I want you to put your mixer down and turn it onto medium. You are gonna have to stop and scrape down the bowl because what we're trying to do is incorporate some air into this butter and sugar. Italy is one of my most favorite places to spend time. Just the way of life, the people, the scenery, the landscape. This cake absolutely reminds me of being there. And when you put these roasted strawberries on top, they create kind of this pool of strawberry juice that then caramelizes in the oven. It's actual heaven, for real. It's amazing. Okay guys, I want you to see this. This whipped for a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes solid on a fairly high speed. This is light and fluffy. It's whipped. It's like, it does not get better than this. It's butter and sugar, for goodness sakes. So any dessert that has lemon is going to automatically be my favorite. So I'm just gonna take this mixer off, or the paddle attachment off, so that I can add my lemon zest. You wanna zest an entire lemon and just take off just the yellow part. Try not to get down to the white, because the white is bitter. So once your lemon is completely naked, you can set him aside. We don't need it anymore. You want to put your mixing attachment back on your paddle and just incorporate that zest. All right. Oh. The perfume of the lemon zest is incredible. It's real magic. The next thing we're gonna do is, I've got 3 eggs here. We're gonna add them one at a time until they're completely combined. So I'm just gonna crack it on the counter, add the first one in, and mix thoroughly to combine. Once you see no remnants of the egg left, you wanna go ahead and add your next one. And mix. I've added 2 eggs and I'm gonna do a bowl scrape, because look at all of that stuff that's not mixed. We need an even cake. This is not hard, you just need to pay attention. Oh yeah, look at that. You wanna make sure you give the bowl a really good scrape and a good mix, because look, there's lots that's not incorporated. And we're gonna add the next egg. So we're gonna do one big final bowl scrape for these eggs. Make sure they're all incorporated. Oh yes. Guys, if you go to Italy, when you go to Italy, you will see so many lovely desserts. Everything is so simple. Whoop, that's mine. Everything is so simple. Oh, that is so good. And they just let ingredients shine. Okay, so it's arguably my favorite part, because we're going to add the ricotta cheese. Now, a lot of Italian desserts have ricotta cheese. It's a very common thing. We need some ricotta cheese and we need some yogurt. All right, so we want some traditional ricotta. If you find the extra creamy, that's good. The extra smooth, that's fine. Really what you don't want here is a low-fat ricotta. It's just not gonna give you quite the same outcome. I mean, you do you, use it if it's what you have, but I can't speak to the results of that. So we're going for a full cup of this ricotta cheese, and I'm literally just going to scoop it out of here. Oh, actually it needs a little bit of a mix. There we go. And I'm going to measure out 1 cup. You'll see my cup is kind of heaping. That's okay. I'm not gonna save this for anything. Like, it's not, if I were to scrape this off, it really wouldn't be very much. I know baking's supposed to be an exact science, but in Italy, they don't take anything too seriously. So why should you? It's an Italian cake. The rest of our wet ingredients are gonna go in as well. So we have that 1 cup of ricotta, and we need 2 tablespoons of yogurt. When I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'm a big believer in the chef eats first. So like, this is my yogurt spoon. Final wet ingredient is vanilla. I make my own vanilla. If you want to see how I do make my own vanilla, let me know in the comments below and I can show you guys in a future episode. I never measure my vanilla because it really isn't, it's not an overpowering flavor that's going to overtake this cake. You put a little more, great. You put a little less, no problem. We're aiming for about a teaspoon. In my world, a generous splash. So if you're not a baker, you're probably realizing that the Italian summer strawberry cake is for you, because you see, it's all kind of just coming together. Nothing is too serious about this. I'm gonna lower my mixing head and I'm going to turn it on to low, a gentle stir. There's a little bit of cheese left. I'm not gonna leave it there. Don't worry, this is all going in the dishwasher. I'm done with it. Very, very good. This is my big bag of flour, and honestly, this is just how it is. Things are not always fancy and perfect, and you gotta just roll with it. Half a cup, a whole cup, and a quarter cup. I'm gonna leave this one a little bit mounted because I put a little extra ricotta in the cake, and I don't know, I just feel like it evens out in the end. Done, my big bag of flour. This cake takes 1 full tablespoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. So same thing, I'm just going to level this off, pop it in there. And I'm adding a teaspoon of kosher salt. You wanna get a whisk and make sure this is completely incorporated. Beautiful. We are ready to add our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. And we want to do this with as little mixing as possible. When we have too much mixing, we develop the gluten in the flour and we end up with a tough cake. So don't get overzealous with it. I am going to just start by adding this slowly, about half of it. I'm gonna put my mixer down, turn it on to very, very low. We don't want a big dust up of flour. And just as it starts to incorporate, it should look like this. Still lots of dry flour. This means we're ready to add the next addition, which is the rest of the flour. Just like that, we're gonna mix until combined. All right, this is all combined. I need to do a scrape around the bowl. I need to get a new spatula because I ate my last one. Okay. Oh. There is some beautiful lemon flavor coming from this. Make sure you give us a really big scrape. Little pockets of dough love to hang out at the bottom of the mixer. And same within this paddle, loves to go there. So scrape the bowl, one final mix, like just barely kiss this batter with the mixture. Just done. Just before we prep our pan, we're gonna preheat our oven to 375. So I'm using a 9-inch springform pan because it's gonna allow me to take the sides off and really get a beautiful reveal. If you have a different pan that's about the same size as a springform, go ahead and use it. You might need to develop a parchment paper sling for it, but that's perfectly okay. This is my favorite way to grease a pan. It's literally just taking the butter and shoving it in the pan and moving the butter all the way around to get every inch of the pan. And I even do the sides. Some things I like to really go all out and spend the extra time and effort, and but if it doesn't make a difference to do that, you won't see me doing that. So if you guys see me taking an extra step, usually it's because I think it's worth it. Now we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of flour to this baking dish. And we're going to use our hands to shake the flour all around the tray. Perfect. Guys, look how perfect this is. Come on. Okay. Next, we are going to load in our cake. So, perfectly dusted cake pan. We want to put all of our batter right in. Push it right into the corners. Just make sure it's perfectly even. Because our next step is the pièce de résistance, the strawberries. Beautiful. Done. So we're going to start cutting the strawberries, and I couldn't decide which ones to bring over, so I brought them all. And again, these aren't all for the cake. I am using them for something else. I just wanted to be able to choose the very best strawberries for the cake. What happens with these strawberries is as they start to cook, they start to shrink. And as they start to shrink, more of the cake is exposed. When you have the entire top of the cake covered with strawberries, remember they are gonna shrink. So we really want to get them in there. I like to pull off the top and just use my knife to take the core out. And I do that by angling my knife in like this. Get a small enough knife and really choke up on the blade. And just use your knife to do a spin around the middle, and that green part will just pop right out. Now here's one of the most important parts. We want to see the inside of this strawberry, so we are going to slice it right down the middle, and that is it. The most impressive part of this cake is that beautiful roasted strawberry top. So I'm going to take the strawberry and layer it in, cut side up. So the time you spend on this step is what's really gonna make this an impressive dessert. So when I put these strawberries into the pan, I'm pushing them right up against the side and then just pressing them into the cake. Look how impressive this cake looks already. The last step is to sprinkle some sugar on top. The sugar is gonna mix with the juices of the strawberries. It's gonna caramelize, and it's going to be the most amazing roasted strawberry flavor. Now, you can use any type of sugar you like, brown sugar, white sugar. I'm using coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is one of my favorites. I use it in my coffee, and I try and substitute it for white wherever I can. It just has a really nice roasty, toasty flavor. So I'm going to use this on top. No more than 2 tablespoons, but you can do it to your sweetness preference. And your sweetness preference is very important because this is where you guys make recipes your own. You don't want sugar on top? Don't put sugar on top. If you want a little cinnamon, add some cinnamon. This is where you decide what flavors you like and go for it. That is how you live a little bit of La Dolce Vita. I think we're ready to put this cake in the oven. Okay, let's do it. 375. I'm gonna check this at 45 minutes. We'll see how it's doing in the middle. We're looking for a skewer to come out clean, and then I'm gonna show you a little trick to really blast the top of this. My kitchen smells incredible. This strawberry cake is just about done. It's been baking at 375 for about 50 minutes, and my secret to getting the top absolutely perfect with that roasted strawberry flavor is actually to turn off your oven and then pop the broiler on. So I'm gonna turn this broiler on for 3 minutes. I'm gonna start with. Do not walk away. This is going to go quick because your oven's already hot. What we're looking to do is just evaporate any last little bit of moisture that's on the top of that cake and end up with a beautiful caramelized top that people are just gonna go bananas over. 2.5 minutes, that's all it took under the broiler. This cake is done. Ooh. Guys, look how beautiful. It is imperative that we wait until this is completely cooled, and that's what makes this such a great make-ahead dessert. It's a few hours until my friends get here, so I'm going to leave this to cool on the counter, and then when they get here, I'm going to unmold it. So it's going to be really extra impressive. We're going to open some wine, we're gonna pour some espresso, and just have a really nice summer evening together.
Yeah, and it was so nice, and it's amazing how as the weeks went on, like it just, I don't know, it was so fun. Yeah. You order a few different things, and we would, exactly. And I know just what to do, and I'm so sick of pain, but it's all too quick with you. Like, going around. Losing my mind, can't find the words, no, I can't seem to find. Right?
you.
You're welcome. This is great, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh yeah,
Thanks
this
for
is
having
great.
us.
This is so nice.
Right? A
Wine's
little
delicious.
vino. It is good. I'm gonna finish it. Here, I'll finish it in your glass right here.
Okay.
Why not?
Amazing.
Actually, I made a little treat for us.
Oh.
1 second, I'll grab it. There's never a shortage of treats at Christina's. So,
Wow, that looks amazing.
we are having an Italian
Wow.
strawberry cake. There's ricotta in here, some lemon. I made it earlier today. And strawberries are nice and roasted on top, caramelized. And we're gonna cut this guy up.
That looks delicious.
Phenomenal. I want a big piece.
Look at that.
Midge was saying there's cheese in it. Ricotta cheese.
The ricotta.
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 That looks amazing.
Oh my
Cow will
gosh.
burst.
Okay, let's get some plates.
Look at that. Look at that caramelization.
Christina, it smells amazing.
Ooh, look at that.
We'll do a generous piece, yeah?
Yes, please.
So when did you make it?
Pardon me?
When did you make it? Earlier today?
Earlier today, yes.
And it's okay to just sit out?
It is absolutely okay. We get this
Look
nice,
at that.
almost pudding effect on top. The strawberries roast and soak into the cake.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Moist.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Right? Moist.
Christina, so good.
Oh my goodness.
And actually creamy as well.
How did you make this? I need to know.
Wow.
Ready for my second piece.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Every time I eat here, I'm always like, this is the best thing I've ever had.
Guys, thank you so much for coming.
That cake
This is
was
nice.
phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Can you actually check if the subscribe button is working right here? Yeah, right there.